Welcome to the LFG Pats Pod with your hosts, Joe and Mike. Let's go!
All right, welcome into the LFG Pats Pod. This is episode 41, and we have a very special guest in Savage Sports. Savage, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, man. I'm hanging out and just getting prepped for Sunday night, getting my my cold gear prepared. I don't know what the weather is going to be. It might be kind of like rain, snow, sleet. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm getting prepped.
Yeah, do we need ponchos? Like, what do we need here? Is it going to be a wintry mix? Is it going to be sleet? What do we got? I don't even know what it's going to be. 30-something at kickoff, right? And then it's going to be precipitation. Well, what's that going to be?
Whatever it is, hopefully should benefit the Patriots. That's all I'll say.
I agree. LA Chargers do not like hail or any of the above, so I like it. So we were supposed to have Hogdale on. I think he still might be joining, but I know he was also recording another show. I think he's recording Dirty Water. But we told him, hey, if you jump on, we'll throw you on stage. So hopefully he joins. But we have a lot to talk about. We have the Chargers Pats preview, obviously this weekend, massive game, biggest game in probably the past 6-7 years. I don't even know, 6-7.
Well, our last playoff game was after 2021. We got killed by the Bills. That doesn't really count. The most meaningful playoff game we've had was when we lost to the Titans in 2019, Tom Brady's last ever game. That was the last playoff game of significance for us. So
Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill.
You could call it 6 years if you wanted to, but either way, however you slice it, it's a long time coming.
So big game coming up. We have Drake May, Matt Stafford, as I like to call him, Statford, Stat Padford. Which one we going with? Who knows?
I like both of them, though. I like both of them.
Oh, God. And then, we'll talk about some other scenarios that might come up too, some other games. We'll talk about it all. First thing we'll talk about, though, is the sponsors. So Horizon HVAC. Savage, if you need your HVAC serviced, you got to call these guys. Pete from Foxborough fellas actually gave him a call. He got them out there for $250. They come by, they check everything out top to bottom, make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I did it right before the winter. I did it before that in the summer. So, it had been 5 or 6 years before I had mine checked out, and they were like, "Oh, it was all gunked up. We had to, replace a few things, but it's all covered under that silver package." So $250. Horizon HVAC. Mike Cesaroni, awesome friend of mine from high school, runs a great business, top-notch business. And then Rogue Island Kitchen and Bar. So we had our great event there with that first Bills game, the away game, which we all thought was going to be a loss, and we stunned the Bills, and it was an amazing night at Rogue Island. If you're ever in the Providence area, the Arcade in Providence is the oldest mall in America, and it's really amazing what they've done in there. And the food's amazing, tons of great beer, the service is amazing. Rogue Island Kitchen Bar, check that out. So, all right, guys. So Savage, tell me.
Yes.
I don't even think we're gonna bother. I guess we could talk a little bit about the Dolphins game.
I have some stuff to say, just not too much.
Savage, what'd you see in that Dolphins game that you liked?
Well, I would start with this. I thought it was funny. People before the game, the week or two leading up, were like, "Oh, dude, the Dolphins want to play spoiler. They want to come in. This is going to be like Fitzpatrick in 2019. Like they're coming in. You got to watch out." And I was telling people, I was like, dude, I'm just telling you, man, like they don't want to be here. They don't want to be in New England the last week of the season. The team has already benched their starting quarterback. They're about to have massive turmoil. Quite literally, they're about to try to, while Mike McDaniel is still employed, they're going to try to plan on behind his back hiring John Harbaugh and firing him, which is happening right now, by the way. Multiple reports as they're interested in John Harbaugh. And so I'm telling people, like, dude, they're gonna roll over. I promise you. Like it's not. I think my prediction was like 30-14. Whatever. And again, clearly their defense didn't show up. I mean, we were right. They got smoked. The first drive was 3 runs for a touchdown. You're like, okay, like how is this game gonna go? I would say this though. I didn't love how the Patriots defense looked, especially at the beginning of the game, because that's pure Mike McDaniel's scheme. Like they were getting gashed by a decent scheme. Quinn Ewers is nothing special. They had no weapons playing. Their line is mediocre. Like that was pure scheme that was gashing them at the beginning. So again, didn't love that. And I hope it's something that, again, bring it to the Chargers, that doesn't happen early in the game, in the playoff game, because you don't want to be in a hole, man. I don't want to get in a hole, especially since like the Chargers want to run the football. They want to, which I'm not sure they're going to be able to do. We can talk about that. But yes, you don't want to dig yourself a hole. You need the defense to stand pat and be resilient. And just didn't love what I saw early in the game. So that's kind of my initial takeaway.
What do you think, Mike? What'd you say?
Well, it's kind of the same. However, I'm going to tackle it as an aggregate as to the last 2 games of our season, as far as the different ways that this team can beat you. We all thought that we should roll over both the Jets and the Dolphins. Some of us had some trepidation behind that, but we have to look at the way that we won both these games. Against the Jets, Drake threw for how many? 5 touchdowns?
5, yeah.
And against the Dolphins, we ran for how many? 4 touchdowns? So if I take that in totality, I look at it as a team that did what they were supposed to do for those 2 games. Everybody says we can't beat anybody, strength of schedule, blah, blah, blah. But like I've harped on you, is that good teams find a way to blow out bad teams. And we have finally learned how to do that. And these last 2 games prove to us that we can do that in any given way that you want to give us. We scored in every possible way that we possibly could, and that gives us an incredible amount of momentum going into the postseason. And we all are desperately hoping this isn't our last podcast until the off season.
Yeah.
So we'll get into all that, but it's just, to me, impressive as a whole when I look at both those games about the ways that we're able to differently beat people, and it gives me confidence moving forward into the tournament, as Mike Vrabel would say.
Yeah, and I think for me, I've been saying this all year. This team, it's kind of a good and bad thing, right? To me, it's like this team hasn't played a full 60 minutes of football. They still haven't done it, and probably the Jets was the closest thing to it. But it was also the Jets. It was Brady Cook. Is that his name? Brady Cook?
Yeah, Brady Cook.
Yeah. Anyways, that guy. And so, like, I agree. I think we can do it in all ways. I think we can run the ball, we can pass the ball, we can play good defense at times. We can shut teams down for periods of time. Obviously, we did it against the Bills, and that game completely flipped. But if I have to have my choice, just looking at how we've won this year, I don't mind. I mean, every game that we've started out slow, we end up dominating in the second half. So, these games like the Giants, right? Look at the Giants game. We came out like our heads were flying around at all times. People were getting lit up left and right. And that first half, the Giants were like, oh, we're going to score 60 points on the Giants. Well, guess what we end up doing? Kicking a field goal in the second half, and that's it. I mean, to me,
you don't want to see them take the pedal off the metal, basically.
Well, it's to me, it's like we haven't played a full 60 minutes. So I guess if I have to choose, the slow starts is what I would, I guess, prefer, just because, when we do that, we tend to figure a team out and then we put them to bed. Right. And so, but I would, at the end of the day, you want to see your team play a full 60 minutes, and they just haven't done it this year, which is, I guess, good if you're 14-3 and you still haven't played a full 60 minutes. So, yeah, I think going into the playoffs, I think it feels okay. But a team like the Chargers, because we'll get into that, this team is a very disciplined football team on both sides of the ball. Herbert doesn't necessarily kill you, right? He's not going to kill you. He's not going to put the game on his back, at least how he's playing this year. But I do think that, I think we have a great shot against this team. What do you think about this game coming up, Savage?
Yeah. So, just from the big view, I think the Patriots should win the game. I think it's, again, if you could choose between Houston Buffalo and LA, I think you would have chosen LA. I think everyone would have said, yep, this is the best matchup. This is who we want. So, I mean, what's to be mad about? You know what I mean? Like, I think this is that matchup you wanted. You didn't want to see Josh Allen in round one. You didn't want to see Houston's defense in round one. So, this Chargers team, yeah, they have a good defense. They're physical, they're aggressive, and they're well coached. It's just like, their offense hasn't been incredible. They haven't been putting up a lot of points. They have both all-pro tackles out, which obviously hurts them. Their interior line, it's not like they're great either. They're really not. So, like, you could see a big game from Milton Williams and Barmore might do some damage. You're going to need a lot more from Harold Landry on the edge. You need a lot more. Like, he's got to really show up. They rested him 2 weeks just so he could be energetic and show up in this game and make plays. And they're going to need that, man. Like, you're going to need a lot, like 5 or 6 sacks on Herbert, and just look to like get to Herbert early, get to him. Because again, you got to remember, like, he is a good quarterback. He's no joke. He's a good player. He's banged up with a fractured hand, but I think this is one of the better coach quarterback combinations you've seen this season. I don't think you could name many better than this, which I know, it is what it is. Like, it's a good coach quarterback combo. And that's often who wins Super Bowls. If you go back 20 years, go look at the winner of Super Bowls, like coach quarterback, and how many times is it not good? And I promise you, it's rare that it's not a good coach quarterback combination. You have to go back to like 2002 or with a couple teams in between. But yeah, so long story short, the Patriots should win the game. I think they're the better team. They're the more balanced team. I'm just trying to pinpoint the negatives, but like, to be fair, if Drake May plays how he's been playing all season, you should win the football game, period. That's kind of my look at it. And
as far as the coach quarterback combination, yes, they do have it, but guess who else has it? So, and yeah. I think we have more faith in our particular combination on that end than they do. I love Jim Harbaugh. I think he's a fantastic coach, but like Savage just said, Justin Herbert is banged up. That bum offhand, his left hand that's broken. He's coughed up a couple of fumbles when he's tried to scramble, and he's been trying to scramble kind of a little bit more than maybe he should have, and it's been causing him some problems. So, but what he said, yes, this is the matchup I wanted. I can't think,
100%.
I can't 100%. Think of another team that I would have preferred to watch. And you look at the inconsistency of the Chargers team throughout this season and the way that they bowed down in the playoffs last year when they completely choked. All those things point to us being in a fairly advantageous position about that. Now, we have to get healthy. We have some guys that are still on the fence, our starters, but I think that they're all going to be back. The Spillanes, the Tongas, stuff like that. I think these guys are going to be coming back. And again, we've said that the Chargers offensive line is all banged up. We don't have a great pass rush, but we do have Milton Williams back. So hopefully, I know the tackles are their problem in LA, but with Milton Williams back, that opens up another avenue of, if they're going to double team him and double team Barmore, maybe these guys, the Chasons and the Landry, if Landry is healthy, because he's been hobbled for the latter half of the season and he's tried to play through the injury and he looked like a different player. So I really hope that he's like back from his knee injury, because he's looked different. I don't know how that's going to play out or anything, but our pass rush should give them a little bit of problems. And as long, I think that their receiver core is nothing special at all. Like I said, Ladd McConkey had, in my estimation, a down year, 66 catches for like 600 yards. I thought that was down from the year before that. And then you got the ghost of Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson and stuff, and Oronde Gadsden, who fell off in the second part of the season as well. So I don't know about all their weapons, but I also don't know about our defense. Our defense has been a little bit of a liability lately. Hopefully that will stabilize as we get healthier, as Milt Williams is back, as Spillane is back. So hopefully, we can call back on them. I would recommend that they spy Herbert because he seems to be wanting to run. And I anticipate us trying to key on forcing a turnover off that guy when he has the ball in his hand, because he can't grip the ball with two hands. He's got a cast on his off hand. So anytime they're near the quarterback, if you're slapping around at it, you have an exponentially better chance of knocking it out than a dude that has two functioning hands. So I think we match up well, actually both on offense and defense, but it's also any given Sunday and it's the playoffs. And I don't think the Chargers are terrible. I think they're a pretty good team. They're inconsistent. And like I said, they have a great coach. But I just believe in my team just a little bit more this week.
Yeah, and I think you have to look at the tackle situation a little more, right? You have a second and third string. If Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt were in there, this would be a totally different conversation.
Game, yeah.
Because now you're talking about, you're going to have doubles in the middle with Millen, with Williams and Barmore, and now you have two All Pros up against Landry and Chason, and I'd say, look, he's going to have all day to pick us apart. But in this situation, I feel pretty confident. Chason looked like he was about to have a career ender not career ender, but at least season ender last week. I didn't know if he was going to come back from that. But I think he can win against a second or a third string tackle. If he can't, though, I do think we'll have problems. The only thing that I do think, even though if they can't get home, is Justin Herbert's average depth of target is criminally low. He's at something like 7 or 8 at ADOT. And so when it comes down to it, I think that hand is playing into that. I think he will run if he needs to, right? Especially if they absolutely need a first down, he'll go for it. But his average depth of target is pretty alarming when you consider the players they have, like Quentin Johnston, these guys that they can act, Rondé Gadget, right? They can take shots downfield. Is that because of his hand? Do they not want him sitting back there for 3-4 seconds and then someone comes in and takes a swipe at him? Are they trying to get it out of his hands quickly? I think that's part of it. He's definitely in a down year for sure. But his past few years aren't stellar either. He's not like beating the league down. He had a few hot years in the beginning. But yeah, I think I agree with both you guys. My faith is in Drake May at this point. He just does the right thing. When you need him to make a play, he's the most evasive quarterback. Like, our line is not perfect. Our line is middle of the pack, and Doug Marrone, we brought in Doug Marrone. But he is evasive, and he is very good at improvising and keeping his eyes downfield. So to me, we have the edge at quarterback. The coach, I don't know, I guess you could call it a wash, but I still think that between our offensive and Vrabel's defensive mind, I think we have the edge there too, slightly.
Well, one thing is that both those coaches have done an excellent job of getting their players to buy in. Those Chargers, they're all bought in. But guess what? I think the Patriots are more bought in on Vrabel.
I'm with you.
The Patriots are obviously very bought in. And, when you talk back to the quarterback situation, really there's one quarterback you would rather, not even rather have at this point. There's one quarterback that you could argue, which is obviously Josh Allen, who was the former MVP and potentially best player in football, right? That's the only other quarterback in the AFC that you're kind of concerned about right now. You have the other one. You have Drake May. We're talking about, again, whether it's Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, does Trevor Lawrence scare you?
Not
have
really.
you looked at his numbers? It's I get their team's
right.
playing pretty well, but dude, honestly, Trevor Lawrence is not that guy, man. And he's had a better season, but he's really statistically not been great. They've had a fantastic coaching turnaround, and again, that team is playing really, really well. I think that team could go to the Super Bowl. They're a good team, but it's not a quarterback driven team. It's not exactly like a Trevor Lawrence team. So yes, I think clearly he doesn't necessarily scare me. Herbert has been pretty good. He's something like a 94 passer rating this season. It's okay. Pretty good. Doing okay. Not stellar. And I think their weapons between Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey, and they have a washed Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen isn't doing a lot for you. I mean, he can still run a route. He might go sit in a couple zones, but he cannot beat anyone on this team in a foot race. He runs like a 4.8. He's not there. He's not that guy anymore. So, yeah, you got to watch out for McConkey, who's a good player. Quentin Johnson is good and a big body, and he's had a good season. But, like, honestly, it's just – I think the point of, like, weakness against weakness is like, the biggest piece of this game where they're terrible at giving up pressure, and you can't get pressure. And that's the real story. If you want to talk story of the game, like, who holds up? If you can't pressure Herbert, you're going to have a tough time in this game.
Yeah,
but like
I agree 100%.
You gotta if you can get pressure on him, though. Again, it's mostly coming from our interior, maybe. But if you get pressure on him, you're gonna win the fucking football game. Period. Like, you're gonna win the game. So,
I would hope so. Joe, you got some comments up here you want to queue up? What do you got going on?
Yeah, we got some stuff. Michael Rodnick's coming in. Is Amarion Hampton coming back for them? That's a great question. He didn't practice today. It could be a rest day going into this week. We'll see as the week goes on. It's Wednesday, so by tomorrow that'll be very telling if he comes
Who's
back.
Who's saying about
limited.
Gregory, Ponder, and Durden up there? The D line.
Yeah, like right. Defensive getting close to full strength is key. A great depth pieces like Durden, Ponder, Gregory have stepped up nicely. I agree. I think that's huge. I think we were really looking at the trade deadline and saying, "Oh shit, we didn't make any moves. This sucks. These guys are hurt." At the end of the day, though, these guys ended up.
Christian Ponder has
nicely.
4 sacks. He's an undrafted free agent. He's got 4 sacks.
And these guys ended up filling in. Durden's a complete nut job. This guy gets caught on hot mic every fucking game.
He plays with his hair on fire, man.
He calls the score. Savage, you see the clips with him calling the scoreboard again? He does it every single game.
I like that. I like that. He's a hothead.
I love it.
I want a backup tackle hothead coming in. He's played pretty well this season, but.
I agree. Yeah, he's not a superstar by any means, but he's got the energy. That's for sure.
You need to. They're so desperate for a good edge rusher. This is the problem. Like, you need early season Harold Landry. Like, they're fucking desperate, dude. This is the team. Like, if you have an effective a really good edge rusher on this team, this defense is really good right now. And they've played well all season, really. Like, their metrics are pretty good. They don't give up a lot of points, and they score a bunch of points. They have a great point difference. There's a reason they're 14-3. But the problem is, how much have they been tested? I think the schedule thing that's not something I take into consideration for like MVP voting, but I do take it into consideration with like just team experience. Like, have you been in a dogfight with a hard team? And like, you were in a couple with Buffalo. That was real. You fought your way through the Ravens game. That was good. But like, again, that team's not an amazing team to me either. So in this game, again, I clearly any team can win any game, right? Like, it's any team can win any game. But to me, like, I really think they should really win the game. I think matchup wise, environment wise, travel wise, Herbert in the playoffs. Like, I just think there's a lot of pressure on Herbert to perform too. Maybe not as much as someone like Josh Allen, but there's pressure on Herbert, and the Patriots really should be able to win the game.
Yeah, we can get into it. We can get into it in the off season, but I think it's safe to say that edge is probably going to be very, very high on our list as far as drafts. As far as the draft is concerned, it's got to be right at the top of the list right there. And this guy had a comment about Max Crosby. Come on down in 3 months. I would take Max Crosby in a New York minute. I don't care if he's old. I don't care if he's coming off the injury. That guy would play with his hair on fire as well.
Sign him up.
And it would be a fantastic addition. But I do think we need to address that through the draft as well. We still have a lot of holes we need to fill, but right now we're gelling seamlessly with the guys that we have. And I expect that to continue, as long as they just don't blink and the defense just doesn't break as opposed to bend. I think we're going to have a good chance.
I feel like this game will have definitely some frustrating moments, because just think about the yards we've led up to lesser offenses, right? Because this team it's above average when it comes to offense and defense, right? They're kind of similar to us in that aspect. But I think the difference obviously is Drake May there. But this team, I think they'll get a bunch of chunk plays. It's going to be frustrating in that aspect that I think they'll still get. Herbert will probably throw for 200 or 300 yards against us just because, it's just a well-oiled machine, and Harbaugh is not going to put him out there underprepared. So I'm envisioning the slow start. I'm just calling it now. That slow start's coming. They're going to move the ball. They're going to score early.
The first 15 is coming back all over.
It's
again.
coming back. It's coming back. And it's funny because, some of these games where we started out really strong and then finished, really shittily. I was like, man, I wish we had these slow starts. Like you never thought you'd be missing those.
Yeah,
starting out in a
seriously.
hole. But I kind of do picture it going that way. But like, Savage, you're a season ticket holder. My buddy's a season ticket holder. I've been going for 20 something years. You don't know what you're going to get in these playoff situations. I've walked into Ravens Patriots playoff games, the one with Ray Rice, and you're like, oh, cool, we're down fucking 20 something, 30 point or whatever.
Did I tell you guys the story about that game?
I don't know. Did you?
Did I tell you guys the story? So that was 2009, or the 2009 season, I should say, maybe a 2010 game, but the 2009 season. And I was selling T-shirts for this company, selling like Boston sports T-shirts. And I used to do it in Boston. So they sent me down for the Patriots game. And so you don't expect them to get the doors blown off, by Ray Rice, and they got smoked. Yeah. And so I was made by this guy, like, to go stand out there and hawk tees at people as they left the game miserable. So I'd be like, all right, T-shirts, who wants? Like I was like 20 something, young 20s. And I was like, T-shirts. They're like, fuck you. I just had to listen to thousands of people come by and fuck you and like steal the shirts. And I was like, this is a pretty lousy job, It was like a college gig. But
that's hysterical.
Anyway, horrible game. But I mean, that was, again, the period of time between in the Brady era, right, where they didn't win a Super Bowl for a decade.
That was the one where Ray Rice scored on the very opening drive.
Like, I was in the end zone. I was in the end zone, 5 rows up.
Brandon Merriweather.
He ran into right at me. I'm like, you son of a
bitch. They got smoked. And then they gave up like a defensive touchdown or something. Like they got smashed. And then the next year after that, in 2010, Brady's MVP season, they lost to the Jets in the first round. Right?
That was amazing. That was a great team that year.
Like they should have smoked that team. That 2010 team was nasty.
We had Randy Moss. Like, come on, guys. We totally blew that in the playoffs.
That 2010 team was the first year of Gronk and Hernandez with the double tight end. Yeah. They went, I believe, like 14-2. Brady won the MVP. He had something like, if my brain's not melted, it was something like 36 TDs and 4 picks. I'm not looking at stats. You have to look that up. But he was incredibly efficient. I think his passer rating was like 110 on the season. Again, you're gonna have to look this up. I don't know how good my memory is. I'm gonna look this up in a second. But regardless, and then they lose to the Jets, who they should have never lost to in that game, right? So again, you don't know. There's luck involved. There's puck luck, right? You know what I mean? There's some luck in these games too. If the ball bounces the wrong way, if Welker touches up that punt in that one game instead it doesn't touch it, right? Like if the tuck rule doesn't get called a certain way, like there is always a degree of chance to these games, always. And so that's the hardest part, man, is like figuring out control what you can control. You can come in and control your effort. You can prepare. You can have a good scheme. If you get good Drake May, it's going to be hard for you to fucking lose any game until you play like Buffalo. Yeah. Like that would be, and they might be out of it, or
until the refs take it out of our hands.
Oh, please don't! I hope not. It's been. I'm telling you, all these games I've been watching, I'm like, this is pitiful. This is
they shouldn't be
pitiful.
Involved. You know what I mean? The refs should not be involved. It should not be.
So, Joe, you had a good comment up about Mondre right here.
Yeah, I think this is a great point, Rodnick. I agree.
No, I have to call you out because.
Oh yeah, I was a Mondre hater. I was calling him Skinny Mondre. I'm like, he sucks.
He was poo-pooing Mondre at the beginning of the season.
With you, man. I was saying I hope I'm wrong, so I'm glad that I'm wrong because Mondre has come back, and I don't know what he's doing. Is he on something? Is he? Because he looks spry, man. He looks absolutely spry. He looks like he's these jump cuts he's doing. Granted, we're doing it against the Jets and the Dolphins, whatever. But he's getting to that next level.
Well, still, he's making the plays. You can see it on film.
He's getting to the next level quickly. He's had 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown in the last 2 games, or 2, one each game.
Yeah.
And they're impressive. I mean, he's the play where he got motioned against the Jets and he was 1-on-1 with the D end.
That was awesome.
And it was just, it's a great heady play by May. But you can tell they have a lot of faith in Mondre, and we needed that bad. We needed that when Gibson went down. We needed him to step back up, and Trevion to step up as well. So I'm excited about that. This team lets up 4.5 yards per carry, so they don't get like big explosive plays on the. But you can run on this team, and we will see Munson out there, and we'll see Tonga, and we'll see all these guys, and we'll see the jumbo package. They've been running the jumbo package great. So I do think we have a great Khalil Mack still playing at a high level. He's still he's actually graded I think he's 8th in run defense. He's actually not as good of a pass rusher, but they have a pretty decent pass rush and they have some pretty good run defenders. But I think we can run against them. I think it's a great point by Rodnick here. I think between the two of them, if we can get them going, I think that'll open up the deep shot. That'll open up play action. That'll open up everything. And this defense will be tough to defend us.
The jumbo package works great when Thayer Mumford III it does not miss his blocks.
He did it bad last game.
Because when he misses his blocks, the play gets stuffed right away. Yep. So that kid needs to bone up a little bit. He's been good in spurts, but he's also whiffed on a couple of things. So I love the jumbo package. I really do. We have a great 1-2 punch. Trevion is now running between the tackles with efficiency, which he wasn't doing earlier in the year. So that lends itself to the interior blocking. But Thayer Mumford, he needs to step up in that jumbo package. I'd rather see Tonga in that package, but Mumford can go in motion and move around a little more than that guy can. But it's a nice package to have.
To get healthy though, and he hopefully is back this weekend.
I would hope so. He's got a foot injury, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's back. I know I'm happy to hear Spillane being back. That's awesome. Yeah, but Tonga's a big piece. It just sucks that they somehow couldn't figure out the fullback position. I don't get why they just couldn't figure that out at some point. It's not like you're looking for a number one.
We had Brock, right? We had
Brock Lampy. They take on just for fullback, and it's hurt. To me, Jack Westover. I'm sorry, I don't see much there that.
He's a tweener. He doesn't do either thing well.
He's not a good fullback. He's a good kid. No. He's just not a good fullback. Jacob Johnson got released by the Texans or whoever. We should have just brought him in.
Oh, I love him.
He was our fullback for years and years and years. We should have just brought him in. Jack Westover's not the answer to
Brock
that.
Lampy was the answer, man. That guy was a brick shithouse.
He was watching him.
We all loved Lampy.
Please give me Lampy just laying people out, dude.
He had guns the size of my waist, and I have a big waist.
He looked like a mini Brock Lesnar. He just looked like
Honestly, it's so weird to reflect back on. It's weird to reflect back on preseason because it's in camp because it does feel like such. I mean, it is how many months ago? About 5 months ago now. Straight up 5 months ago. The beginning of camp, right? And it feels like a different world because we're all there. I remember everyone's flipping out about Lan Larison and was your boy and
Captain Chisholm.
Yeah,
that was our guy.
Lan Larison,
those are our guys.
Brock Lampy, and I was making jokes about all the white training camp heroes.
White Boy Summer.
Yeah, White Boy Summer was lit, dude. White Boy Summer. That's funny, but I think Lampy, to be fair though, I actually think Lampy would have been used for real. I think Lampy would have been on this roster over Westover, and I think he would have been the fullback. So that would have been big. It's been fun to see Chisholm get in the game, but I don't mind Chisholm playing. I think he does a couple things okay. Oh, there's Pat's bro. That's funny. I think Chisholm does a couple things okay, right? But these guys aren't winning you football games. There's no Efton Chisholm playing or not has no impact on the outcome of the game virtually. You know what I mean?
It's just good to see, right? It's good to see them get these. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if we want to, you're in the playoffs now, but if you're talking building a roster out going forward, and again, we don't have to do off season now. It's gonna be months and months of off season, but you're gonna need to find a way to improve the wide receiver group still. You're gonna have to get a young tight end. You're gonna have to figure out spots in the O-line. You're gonna have to figure out a bunch of spots on defense. There's gonna be a lot of places to upgrade, but you want as much talent at the wide receiver position as you can get, especially now that Drake is the guy. He's the guy. Yeah. He's the man. build it. I love it. I think you got a few years here where you can really, really push, man. Really push for
and
for
don't do what Brandon Beane is doing to Josh Allen. You have, like you said,
Yeah.
you have the guy. Give him talent. I don't care if it's Justin Jefferson or AJ Brown, or you trade up and go draft Tate. Go draft. I don't care what you got to do. If you put marquee talent around this kid, he is going to make whoever an absolute superstar.
And who has
because he's a superstar.
Who has the most upward trajectory aside from us? Who has the arrow pointing up more than we do with the quarterback, the coach, the draft picks, and the salary cap?
Not many.
Who can boast all of those things that we have right now? So, like we've talked about it, that we've played with house money. It's 14-3. So we're like happy with all that. But are we really happy with all that?
Well, we're just getting started. I think we're all just realizing what's ahead of us, right? And I think this is part of the trade deadline where they're like, we're not giving up 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett.
Good.
And part of me is like, I kind of wish you pushed all the chips in. But the other part of me is like, you know what? They're right. We have a great base, a great foundation. You know, it's a great non-sexy pick. Alec Pierce, Pat's Pro just said it. I agree. Alec Pierce is one of the best deep ball threats in the league, quietly, very quietly.
But him or Booty? You rather have him or Booty?
I have both. I mean, you can have them both. They're not going to cost you that much.
I like Alec Pierce.
I like Alec Pierce a lot. Another thing we haven't talked about is Matt Collins. We don't have Matt Collins in these playoffs.
Yeah, it's kind of a big
that
deal.
kind of hurts. That actually really hurts. He's
nobody can block like him.
No one can block like him. He's 6'4". You know how many times he threw a high ball to him, and 6'4" Matt Collins had to scale up in the air. I mean, he's been a
great.
matchup nightmare.
He was great.
And way more than all of us thought. Right? We all called it and said, "Oh, Matt Collins, great. He'll be a kind of like piece that does something here and there."
Well,
but
let me say this. I think a nightmare scenario would be. And this is, again, you can remedy this in the offseason, but a nightmare scenario would be if just the offense and Drake, it's like the beginning of the Cincinnati game. Like they just can't get it together. They can't find a way to move the football because the talent isn't quite there with the weapons. Like that to me would be a problem. Like if Drake can't find a way to elevate the roster like he's done the whole season. Like, because again, Booty gets on a specific corner, someone can lock Booty down. Booty's a good route runner, don't get me wrong, but he's not a burner like that. He's not quick twitch like that. He's a good route runner, and he can get by you, and he's a smart player. But I think Matt Collins being out takes away the big boy thing. Diggs can get open, and I think if they double Diggs and double Henry, and then it's like, okay, that's the strategy teams have done: double Diggs, double Henry, and then
the blueprint's there, right?
But then if you do that and they rush 4 and Drake May gets out of the pocket, he can run for fucking 25 yards. So it's like it really does come down to Drake. If Drake's seeing it, getting guys open, finding ways to run, or again, flip side, not to get all jacked up right now, but if you can run the fucking football. If you can run the football, if you got Mondre back to what he's doing in Travion, and you're like, you don't need you don't allow them to sit back in these like deep zones, and you can run the football, then dude, you're fucking on it. Mondre's been money. He's been great. Henderson's been great. So if you come in and you can run this football, which by the way, the Chargers, not a good run defense. They're like 26th, something like that. They have a good pass defense, not a good run defense. So
they don't let up a lot of rushing touchdowns, but they do let up 4.5 yards to carry.
They give up a lot, dude. If you come in with a bunch of big boys, you bring in some extra tackles, you run under center, a lot of runs, a lot of play action, and that's how I beat them. That's how I would dial it up. And let's see what Josh does. But if you can run the football, you win. That's it.
I think you're right. I think you're going to see a lot of jumbo. Jeremy here agrees. He's saying, I feel like the 1-2 combo of Ramondre and Travion coming out of the backfield will be very beneficial and take a bit of the load off of the receivers. 100% agree. I think if we get that run, that's the key. Obviously, you get this run game going, and now you got the secondary, playing a little more up front in the box. Good luck, because guess what? Drake May will hit Kyle Williams. He'll hit Stephon Diggs. He'll hit Hunter Henry. He'll hit all these guys downfield. So if we open that up for him, that's what's going to be. You're going to see a lot of rushing, and then you're going to see play action, and then you're going to see balls going down the field. So, yeah, I'm with you guys.
We got a great 1-2 punch back there, and I think the play action game is devastating. Once we are able to set up the run, They execute it perfectly. Drake's been getting the protection. That's when you're seeing the downfield throws. I expect that to continue this weekend.
Great point by Cole Sturgill. Big Country Campbell being back only boosts the run game even more.
Oh, absolutely.
The way he finishes runs, man, it's poetic. It's you just look for it like, oh my God, did he just drive that guy right into the dirt?
Yeah, he's dirty.
Yeah, and we love it. We all love it. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Pass protection. We're kind of middle of the pack. We were talking about this earlier. But Drake May is the best at evading, right? He's the best at evading. He's the best with pressure. He's the best. I mean, if you look at all these stats against him versus Stafford, which we haven't really talked about, I don't really want to because
it's a garbage friggin' conversation.
It's ad nauseum at this point. It's like, just give him the Lifetime Achievement Award. We don't even care, right? It's like the AFC Championship. We don't care about that. We care about the Super Bowl only. We don't care about regular season MVP. I want Super Bowl MVP. So whatever, give it to him. Give him the Lifetime Achievement Award. I don't give a shit.
I care only because I'm just mad about it now. You know what I mean? There's like being real.
I'm with you.
Just being real.
I'm trying to move past it.
I'm mad that people are just like, I think Stafford on any other year would be a primetime candidate for this, and I think he would win it. But like, I think what Drake has done deserves the MVP. I do. I think he's not only does he have the best measurables, and especially with the advanced statistics like his EPA and stuff is way ahead. His completion percentage over expected, his, like you said, dude, he's got like the best passer rating with the deepest depth of target. That's crazy. Like, look at
that. It's unheard of. It's unheard of.
Highest completion
like people like I know they sit in the room and look at these stats. Like they can see that. Like they can note it. That's what so I think it's weird that they want to pretend it's just like, oh, Stafford had the best TD pick ratio, so it's going to be him, versus you have a million, and it's not even as bad as like baseball with all their crazy metrics. Like, these aren't absurd metrics. Like, Drake May is the best passer at each level of the field. He's by far the best passer with deep balls. His average, like the fact that he's by far the most efficient quarterback in football, and he has worse weapons. So again, to me personally, he should be the MVP. And I know a lot of voters will see that. But as you said, the human emotion element, this is going to suck for people, but they're just going to give it to Stafford, period. They're going to give it to him because it's a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he hasn't won it. Won the Super Bowl. He played in Detroit forever and got the shit kicked out of him in Detroit. And so, like, he hasn't won it. They're going to give it to Stafford, although it should go to Drake May. That's my opinion.
I don't have not even one thing to add to that. I really don't. He just summed the whole thing up in a nutshell. So
it's the truth.
I'm gonna defer because it is the truth. Like, all those things that he just said, and it is a Lifetime Achievement Award. And Drake May, normally guys that lead the league in pass yards and yards per pass have like a 55% completion rate. It's because they're always throwing it down the field, and those things percentage-wise don't always hook up. The fact that he has both these things, he's leading in both these things, it's a big deal. And we have all these advanced metrics, man, and I can't make heads or tails out of a lot of them, but most of them point to Drake May. The only thing that Stafford has is what he said is passing touchdowns and passing yards. That's it. I said I wasn't going to add, but I just added my 2 cents. Just agreeing and piggybacking on what he said, because it is ridiculous that he is going to get the Lifetime Achievement Award. And, Brady was like 23, he's got plenty of time. But then I told you, I was like, all right, somebody else did that in 1984. He went to the Super Bowl and won the MVP at the age of 24. His name was Dan Marino. He never did either thing ever again in his career.
Right,
so you can't automatically bank on that.
It's a trash thing. It should just be in a vacuum.
In a fucking vacuum, man.
There should be nothing else considered.
Not a whole body of totality of 17 years of work. Just because this kid doesn't have enough body of reference. It makes absolutely no sense.
And guess what? The 15 fucking 1-yard touchdowns, I could throw at least 5 of those to Puka Nacua. I swear to God, I could throw 5 1-yard touchdowns to Puka Nacua.
And what did you see him do? And you saw Stafford throw 3 1-yard touchdowns last week, and you saw us run for 4 rushing touchdowns last week.
Yeah,
so we
it's
weren't trying to pad no stats. We were just playing the football game. I can't say the
it's
same.
so dumb that
I can't say the same about the other guys. So they were padding stats and we weren't, which either further ingratiates the integrity of the team to me, because they're just sticking to the game plan. Now, I know they go out of their way to get guys incentives, which they did a bunch of, which is great, but they weren't going to force feed the whole Drake May situation. Let the body of work stand on itself, you know?
Yeah, I agree. All right, boys, where I think we're at the point of doing predictions.
Oh, boy.
Mike, let's start with you.
Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, I'll go. You know, I think they might be inclement weather. It might be a wintry mix. Evening in January in New England, there's no better time for this team to play a team from the West Coast. I think it's going to be a factor. I'm not saying all the guys on our team are like super conditioned to that yet, but they seem to perform well in the inclement weather. So I think it'll be an advantage. I think we will try, if we have a game plan that is conducive of, unfortunately, I'd like to see a little bit of zone. So we're looking at Justin Herbert because he has been running around. And if not, it's spy the guy with at least one guy. If we can keep him in check, it'll be fine. On the offensive end, I think we can run the football. And I think, like I just said, the play action will set up some pass plays downfield. I think it might be a choppy little game, mainly due to the elements. I'm calling it, I'm going to call it 27-20 Patriots right now, in a little bit of a field goal back and forth and inclement weather type of deal. People are going to be losing their footing. It might be a little bit slovenly, but we're going to end up putting up enough points and we're going to win 27-20.
I like it. Savage, what do you got?
So you said what, 27-20? I'm going to go, I think what I said on my pod, what I'll go with again is 24-21. And I think it's going to be, I think you got to hit 24. You know what I mean? Like, that's my number. I think I said that today. I just feel like get the offense to 24, and they could go beyond that. But if you get them to 24, you should win the football game. That's my opinion. Like, I don't think the Chargers should score over 24. If they do, you've had just like a real total, just a total malfunction. Like, they're really, with this line, this team, like, they should not put up over 24. Like, they want a dogfight. They want a tight game. So, 24-21. I think it's a little tight, but Patriots pull it out.
I'll take it.
All right, I'm going to go a little higher. I think that we do get the run game going. I think we get them on their heels, and I think that we see some big games from Hunter Henry, from our threats downfield. I'm not particularly scared of their corners. I'm more scared of Derwin James than anybody. Khalil Mack can still stuff the run. I forget the guy's name is escaping me. Who's their main pass rusher on the edge there. They do have a little bit of a pass rush, but I have more faith in Drake May and evading that pass rush and stepping up and us protecting. I think we're going to score over 30. I think we're going to score. It's going to be 31-24 is my call. I do think they're going to score on us. It's probably going to start out in a hole a little bit, whether it's 10-0, 7-0, whatever it's going to be. But I think we figure it out, and I think we end up stepping on the gas on them a little bit.
And we just heard from the only Chargers fan left. That's the other thing. The Chargers, they play in LA now. They don't really have that much of a fan base, you know?
Right.
Whenever other teams go there, it's like mostly a road team like takes over as the home team. So, they don't have a lot of a fan base. So nobody's going to give a crap whether they win or lose. We are invested in this stuff, man. This is New England. This is New England lifestyle, baby. This is a way of life. So go Pats. It means a lot more to us than it does to them. I'll tell you that much.
A lot of great predictions here. All right. Well, Savage, as always, great friend of the pod. I will see you Sunday at the game. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. We got like 6 of us showing up. Actually just found out, I just remembered that I have a whole, there's actually an RV across from the Reverend that they're going to be there too, that I know them. So it's going to be a big group of us partying. So I can't wait. I'm probably going to get sloppy. I'm probably going to get sloppy. I already warned everybody. I'm like,
good.
It's not going to be a good day Monday at work. Sure.
Unless they win, then you're going to be feeling great.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'm not saying because of that. I'm saying probably some drink too much.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Thanks as always tuning in. Follow us as always on Twitter. We're at LFG Pats Pod, at Joe, at Mike LFG Pats Pod. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're just about everywhere. So give us a follow. As always, follow Savage Boston Sports. I'm sure most everyone here is. But yeah, thank you so much, Savage. And yeah, guys, I hope to God next week we are talking about our next opponents. God knows who it'll be. Let's go, boys. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
The W.
Let's get the dub.